Alright, so this is actually a remake. I already made this video before, but I want to make it again. I was told to make it, and then I watched my old video, didn't like it. Here we are again. What the fuck is the difference between a spirit, a ghost, and an entity? So, if we're gonna be like super duper simple, here's how you look at the shit. If you simply just look up what an entity is, it tells you pretty much something that has its own like individual existence type shit. Like you have a business entity, you feel me? So like any singular being is an entity, meaning that ghosts and spirits would both be entities, and the only difference is the fact that a ghost was a human before. And I'm gonna make it complicated if you want to towards the end, but on some simple shit, you feel me? Only difference, right? A ghost was a human before, you feel me? That's pretty much it. The nigga was a human and just died and didn't move on. Now you do have these things called echoes that I talked about with Ryan Cropper on Instagram Live and shit. He told me about these Jones, right? When somebody dies, right, and they're not fully integrated, it's possible that they could just split the fuck up, right, and have like a happy aspect, a mad aspect, a sad aspect. So you go inside this haunted ass house and shit, you see a nigga happy as up playing the banjo, the same nigga over there punching the wall, and the same nigga over there crying over his ex and shit like that. You feel me? And it's like when you see them shit, you can't really interact with them. They can't talk to you and shit, but they're just like there. We also call them thought and emotion residues and shit. You feel me? So that's what the fuck an echo is. But an actual ghost could talk to you and shit like that. You feel me? Now a spirit is just like a being that was not a human and shit. He just lived like wherever the fuck he live at. Now here's how you can make shit a bit more complicated. You feel me? Technically, there's only one spirit, the spirit, the creating and sustaining force of the whole universe, right? So spirits would be creating and sustaining forces of like individual beings. So what I mean by this is that you would have like the lion spirit and the individual lion entities type shit. You feel me? So you could look at it like that also if you wanted to, which would mean that spirits and entities are different. Entities being the individual beings that come from the one spirit. You feel me? And then yeah. Now you could also look at it like this, and this could be kind of complicated to understand, but I'm gonna try to make it make sense. So you could say that spirits are more astral in their nature, and that entities are more etheric in their nature. In their nature. Now astral beings are more like you would go meet these motherfuckers in higher planes and shit like that. You feel me? Etheric beings are more mental and shit like that, and like you may have spirit guides that are etheric like, and they pretty much interact with you like with inside your dreams or something like that, or like when you're transitioning to like an astral plane or something like that. You feel me? And I'm gonna give you an example of this shit too. One time in a spirit guide reading, right? A spirit came through Ryan's head, and Ryan called it a spirit. You feel me? Now this wasn't like a spirit guide and no shit like that. Like I don't think this nigga really know me for real. The nigga was just some random guy who was answering my questions. So it's like he just live in his own dimension type shit wherever the fuck he be at. You feel me? Now another time somebody came inside his stomach and Ryan called this motherfucker an entity and shit. You feel me? Now this motherfucker actually like know me and shit. Like nigga be in my dreams and shit like that. You feel me? So he's more of like an etheric being. Like I don't even think I'd meet this guy going to a higher astral plane. The most I'd probably meet him in is when like if I like meditate and shit and I'm in like that phase where like I'm just like it's like all blackness type shit and like I want to talk to a spirit guide on some shit for like some help that doesn't have to do with like no astral plane shit. It's more like a physical reality kind of help type shit that when I solve this thing, then I can astral project type shit because now I stop worrying about the physical shit type shit. You feel me? So you could say an entity is like a lower level. You could call it a lower level spirit if you want to, but I wouldn't even say that for real. They just are kind of different. Like spirits live in like their own astral plane type shit. Entities are more like mental beings and shit. You feel me? Which would also mean that technically the animals aren't technically spirits because they're more primal in their nature and they're not really astral like, depending on how you define astral. You feel me? But like they're not really in those starry higher planes and shit. They're more on these primal energy levels, and they actually kind of support your primal energies and shit. Now, I don't think all animals will be like you may have like a animal that's like an actual like the nigga's a fucking standing frog that's from a whole different star system type shit. Like you probably you do have them niggas, I'm sure, you feel me? But you also have like the what shamans call power animals and shit like that, which are like primal energies that support your primal shit. Is the best way I can describe it. As you can see, it could get a bit complicated, which is why I kind of avoided this video. I mean, I did already make it, but I didn't like how I made that shit. So, here's the remake. And, like, yeah, I mean, it's better than the first one for sure, but I still don't kind of like it that much. 'Cause it's kind of, I wonder how, I'm going to ask Ryan how the fuck he defined this shit. And then that's how the fuck I'm gonna make my part two of what the fuck he say. So I got y'all niggas with what he says after I talk to him. When I do talk to him, it should be like within a couple of weeks to at most a month. And yeah, that's it for this video. Peace.